Hey everybody, 365 Days of Horsemanship. I have just come home from finishing the Braveheart Beasts clinic with Horsemanship Hub, and definitely it was a really interesting weekend. I have to say I really liked Kayleigh's style of instruction. So I don't think since maybe 2021 I have been to a clinic with a dominant trainer. I've done 2, maybe 3 of Elsa's clinics, but otherwise not. Otherwise no clinics. I think because partly my own confidence and partly I think just feeling like I didn't find somebody or a method that I felt was in keeping enough with where I was at. Like I didn't want to end up in a situation where I was forced to do things or work in a way that was against my principles. And I think you have to be really open when you do clinics to like other people's perspective and mindset, and be ready to like let go of what you thought you knew and try to like understand where someone's coming from without like framing it within what you think is right or wrong. Because sometimes like if you do that from the outset, then you miss the nuances of what someone is trying to say, and then like when they get to like show you the whole picture of their perspective, like you might not necessarily be able to understand what they're trying to say, or you might not be maybe perceptive to pieces of it that might be helpful. That's always how I felt. And so I kind of like was curious to see how this clinic was going to go. And I think it was the first time also that I'd ever come to a clinic with enough self-confidence in what I do and why to be able to hold my own boundaries and say, this is how I like to work. So like, this is the journey that I'm on. Like, this is what I would love your perspective on. Rather than kind of like coming in and being ready to like make compromises on my principles to prove something to myself or the instructor or the people watching. And that was really nice. And I think it was a really great fit with Kayleigh, because basically I came out and I was like, I like to work with a really small amount of pressure. I have a really low threshold for releasing pressure. And I put a very high value on maintaining the relationship and natural moments of curiosity, so much so that I will sacrifice clarity or consistency within a technique at a given time to reward those moments, because that's the journey that I am on. And so everything for me is very slow and very like low levels of pressure. Like I'm not looking to achieve things at any great speed. And she was like, okay. And so she came out and I kind of showed her what I was working on. And then she gave me some different pieces around like, particularly with Mia, like having a bubble and setting some boundaries around like where my bubble is and where I expect her to be in relation to that when I am asking something from her with dominance. And that was something that actually was a really great thing for me to work on, for sure, because when I'm working in dominance, I think it's really important when I'm working as a dominant leader to have clear boundaries with her, because I think that creates confidence and relaxation and engagement in the session. And instead of creating that through a level of pressure that was really intolerable to me, basically she showed me like the techniques of like working on the backup and whatever. I'm just being really consistent with my body position and like my own body and my awareness of where she is, and correcting like sooner rather than later so that I am able to do less. And then I was able to take that away, work with it on my level, really break it down, and then show her the progress that I had made. And she was really supportive of that and really positive about that. And that was a really nice vibe. And so I kind of took the opportunity then to really take her experience and get a lot of advice and insights into body positioning for me and where I need to be in relation to her in order to help her to find the right answers more easily. And that was something I think that is a goal or something that I can work on that fits really nicely within the way I want to play dominantly, because that is something that I would like to achieve. So it was really nice. Like, we worked on basically everything. We touched on everything. We did hindquarter yields and forequarter yields and some lateral work and backup and circles. And then we hopped on and talked about aids for hindquarter and forequarter and backup and forwards and sideways. And yeah, and it was just like a kind of like a whistle stop tour through a lot of different things. But I really found that helpful because I feel like now I have the like clarity and the precision to be able to really take that forward. And it was really nice as well to feel like with Mia that I felt like throughout the whole event, I didn't really lose the mental connection with her. Like, even when she was sleepy, she wasn't trying to leave me. She was just less responsive to what I was asking her to do. Like, I didn't feel her like leave mentally in the way that I used to feel her leave. And that was really great for me. Like, that was really exciting to feel like that. Like, there were times when she was like, and like not responsive, but I never felt like she was choosing not to engage with what was going on. And that is a really positive step. And I feel like it was really nice because all of this like freedom-based stuff that I'm doing with her and the slowness of the work that I do, when I do speed it up and I add a little bit more pressure, and it was mentally tiring for her because we don't normally work at that speed on that amount of things in such a short amount of time. And we were having 2 sessions a day as well. So we've had 4 sessions the last 2 days. And so like today she was definitely like getting a little bit mentally fatigued just from all of the like thinking and demands and questions and games we were playing. But I feel like even when I'm spending money from the relationship bank account a little bit, I felt like I had a really solid foundation of the relationship to build on that never really broke, because I never was asking questions that were so difficult that the relationship might break and I might need to fix it. And that was really nice. Like, I felt really just proud, I think, of where our relationship is now. And I feel like that's a testament to the work that I've put into the relationship through the freedom-based training work. And it felt really good. Like, I felt really relaxed and I felt really comfortable and confident. I feel like the relationship I had with Mia and the level of softness that we had together and the level of connection and our ability to have conversations at liberty, like without, a rope and just with a stick, like the ability to hold her willingness to continue to have the conversation with me was really amazing, in that I felt like I was able to just, like that gave me the confidence to continue to trust my gut and my instinct and the way that I was working with her. And I think it, as I say, is a real credit to Kayleigh because she really met me where I was at, and was just like immediately right from the off, like, yeah, okay, cool. That's what you're working on. No problem. And like really slotted in with me and didn't try to like enforce a different like set of beliefs on me. Instead was like, well, let me show you this and let me show you this and like, let me kind of play with it in the way that was most helpful to me and Mia and where we're at in our journey. And I really appreciated that because it really gave me like a space from which to learn. And like, I think don't want to say an emotionally safe space, but I feel like there's a kind of rapport in like the instructor-student relationship where I think that you really need to feel safe to like work at things at your own kind of pace and in your own way, and to feel supported in that. And that was really nice. And I would say that probably, although I think, yeah, I would say that having never obviously been so open and confident in myself with any other instructors, I think it's difficult to make an overarching statement. But what I will say at this point is that I definitely would consider working with Kayleigh again, which is a big deal for me because I don't think at this point in my life, in my journey with Mia at the moment, there are that many dominant instructors that I would really want to be on a clinic with. I think Fred and Mags, potentially, Frederick Pinion and Maglia Delgado, I would definitely be interested in to actually do with Mia. But otherwise, I feel like I prefer to watch clinics, ask my specific questions, and then take my observed learning onto the relationship, because I feel like I don't want to be pushed or to end up pushing her harder and faster than what aligns with my principles. Whereas with Kayleigh, I feel like I would have absolutely no concerns about signing up to work with her again on a clinic. I also would feel really confident to ask her questions. And yeah, I really hope she comes back next year. Definitely. Her company is Braveheart Beasts. I will link it in the description. And try and remember that I said that in this video because I'm not going to upload it to YouTube today. So yeah, try and remember that I said that. But yeah, it was a really good weekend. And I really rated her as an instructor. She has like an online course. So at some point there's like it's got like a free month. So at some point I might, do that when I feel like I'm like getting to a weird spot where I don't really know what I'm working on. I feel like I have like so many things to work on, which is so nice. I feel like I've like got the first piece of so many puzzles, and I feel really confident in how to build on them, which is really nice. So yeah, it's come at a really good time for me. And I feel like I've got like a good stretch of potential things to work on now that I feel really confident and comfortable working with Mia on in like a really sustainable way, where I interchange the work with maintenance of the intrinsic motivation and the relationship and the depth and the strength of the relationship and the work. So yeah, so it was really good. It was really good. Yeah, Lawrence had an interesting weekend. Bless him. He was in with his friends in the honeycomb in this teeny little paddock that I set up for him in one of the round pens that was like the size of a stable. And like the whole weekend, he just was like, I don't really know why I'm in here. And it's like really small. And then I went to go do a session with him today where the plan was I was going to do a session for long enough that he would feel better about being in there and then open up the gate for him. And when I got in there, I actually found that he was quite emotionally stable for being in there, and I was quite impressed. And I felt like because it was so small, my ability to pick the right moment to open the fence was going to be tricky. And actually thinking about it now in retrospect, I think I could have done it. And I think the way I should have done it would have been to do some like distance work within the pen. And then at a time where I was near the gate and he was looking away from the gate, then I should have opened the gate. I didn't do that because I didn't think of it at the time. But it's okay because I was happy enough with where he was at that I was actually like I moved through a few focus changes and I was like, do you know what? I'm actually really happy with this. So I just opened the pen for him. And he did want me to open the pen, like his focus was on the pen, which isn't ideal. I think it's better if he is thinking about something else and then the pen opens. But I was happy with it. And then we had a nice walk around. He had a lot of energy, a lot of motivation to move. And that was really nice to be able to like take some really active walks with him and be associated with those walks. So yeah, all in all, it was a really good weekend. I'm looking forward to having some time the next 3 days. Tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to try and fit in the horses. And then Thursday through Sunday will be Elsa's clinic. And then I come back and I've got Monday through Wednesday again to just kind of chill and do the horses here. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to so much horse time.